that from the kids. And then secondly, go by the Boys and Girls Club and look at the northwest side, and you'll see this wonderful weedless track. Thank you to everybody that's here, and Steve Zenovic, John Tykert, Grant Miner, 2 days. Jim Jones.
Don't give him credit.
Sorry.
It was a Facebook thing.
He's insinuated himself in our lives.
She got it.
Easy to say. Anyways, and Carmen and anybody who showed up, because it looks so much better, and hopefully they'll use the herbicide again, and we may have to go back a little bit more, but it looks awesome, and I'll send the pictures out next Wednesday. So thank you, Scott, so much for a wonderful time, but also from the social providing us with today's speaker. We had a little misadventure, and I had this card. In the card, Susan Sorensen, she's the public relations person for Ksqm FM. And she said she wouldn't give me an intro, but she's going to come up and introduce herself. So please welcome Susan Sorensen.
Right now, what? I don't know. So anyway, as she said, I'm the public relations person for Ksqm, and I love to talk about Ksqm. I've been a volunteer there for, I think, 5 or 6 years, and I think my little pointer just broke. Well, and there you go. Okay, so how do I do my? Sorry, I'm not a. That's my job. But anyway, is there anyone here? Since we're talking about parties, anyone know who brought the puff pastry that was on the buffet? It was wonderful. I'm trying to track it down. It was great. It was in a pink box and it was delicious. But I'll find out sometime. But thank you again for the invitation to your party. And my husband belongs to the Noon Rotary, and I am an honorary Rotarian at the Noon Rotary. So I hope that I see you at the Salmon Day. We'll be serving food. All right, so I put together, as she said, this was very quickly put together. The bones of the presentation were already there. I just wanted to personalize it a little bit for you. So this is where I am right now, so I can keep track of what presentation I give to what person. Now I just hit the space bar?
Yep.
Okay. So I figured this was a good picture. I took this when we were on vacation a few months ago. We're going to jump into some new information about Ksqm. Probably a lot of you don't know the inner workings of Ksqm. I'm just curious, how many people listen to Ksqm? Okay, about half. Good. I just introduced myself. I'm a retired Air Force nurse. My husband and I moved here in 1996 with our 2 teenage boys that thought we had moved to the end of the earth. We live on a dirt road, and they were just appalled. It's an hour to the closest mall. Ironically enough, they both still live in Ksqm, so they didn't leave. I can talk about 3 topics. I can talk about colonoscopies, I can talk about diabetes, and I can talk about Ksqm. So you're going to get the Ksqm talk today. All right, so
Might be more apropos to talk about colonoscopy.
I can do that. I worked at Ksqm same-day surgery for about 15 years, so I know all about colonoscopy.
That's where I remember seeing.
Yeah. All right, so here is the logo of Ksqm. Today I'm going to talk about the background of Ksqm, our funding sources, give you a look inside our facilities at 609 West Washington Street, and then show you how Ksqm supports the community. You're going to be amazed. So what does Ksqm do? Well, it helps prevent you from being an island, helps you to connect with other people around you. It gives you information about what's going on in the community. It gives you weather. We always give the weather at 1/4 to the hour whenever there is a live broadcaster in the studio, which is most of the time. I'll tell you about that in a few minutes. This is my husband on his sailboat that we no longer have, but that's okay. We talk about local events, Swim Prairie Grange, their ice cream socials, their dessert auction. And we play good and plenty oldies, lots of ear candy. We play it all. That reminds you of when times were a little bit simpler. So the first broadcast was on December 7th, 2008. And it was from Rick Perry, our founder, from his home. He had a studio built in his home. He was very, he felt it was very important for this area to have a emergency alert system. And that's why KSQM was founded, to keep the community informed of what is going on in case of an emergency. But December 7th, 2008 was our first broadcast. Ksqm Community Broadcasting owns the FCC license for KSQM. KSQM is a 501c3 nonprofit. It is supported by listeners and businesses. And I'll give you that ratio in just a few minutes. And KSQM is governed by a board of directors. All right, in addition to the music from every genre that you'll hear local news, local events, ferry reports, road construction. How many people got caught in that 101 backup by Discovery Bay? There was a 2-hour backup. And we kept people updated of what was going on. Updates on power outages. We are the voice for local and law enforcement for information that needs to get out to the community. We are a full power Class A, non-commercial educational radio service of Ksqm Community Broadcasting. And we are registered in the state of Washington as a charitable organization. All contributions qualify as tax deductible donations as allowed by law. And we take contributions in any amount. Sometimes someone will stop by the studio and they'll say, here, I had an extra 10, put it in the kitty. So it doesn't matter what the amount is. Here's our mission. I'm not going to read it to you, but I think that it's very important that we inform, educate, entertain, involve, and inspire everyone. And we have listeners all over the world. They can listen online. Okay, so let's travel to the locations that we have that KSQM has to provide you with all this information and music. The first place we're going to go to is, let's see if I can find my this is our studio. Fifth Avenue Furniture is over here. We're in the corner there. We used to be the police station. And we've been there about 3 years or so, I guess. Okay, here's the front door. We're in suite 17. And then when you walk in the front door, you sign in, and this is the lobby area. There's a receptionist that sits here. And the broadcast studio faces the front, and then this is the newsroom here. And then we have a couple offices here, and then you go down this hallway to the community room. Now, the community room is available for nonprofit groups to use for meetings. So if you, as a Rotarian group, wanted to have a meeting of people to plan something, you call KSQM and see if the room is available. We accept donations, but it is free of charge for nonprofits. This is our broadcast studio. This is Bud Davies. He's one of the broadcasters, and we have these windows that look out into the parking lot. So we call that the weather window. And let me make sure I stay on time here. Okay, let's look. A lot of you probably have never been in a radio studio, so I'm going to show you some of the inner workings. If I'm sitting where Bud was sitting a minute ago, this is the computer. This is the Arrakis board, and we have 2 computer screens. The computer screen on the left, right here, gives us the weather. You can see I took this picture February 7th, and this is the weather that we read at 1/4 to the hour. And then when we say we have a local weather observations, those are the local weather observations that we can tell you what the temperature and what the weather is in different locations on the North Olympic Peninsula. Then the other screen, the screen on the right, you can't really see it very well, but this is where all the music comes up. The music, we have a big computer that they've programmed that a song, with some exceptions, is not played that has to have a 2-week window between when it's played and when it's played again. Every song has a code, 02, 03, 04, male vocal, jazz, instrumental, country. And so the computer pulls out, they say, okay, we want 3 country, 4 instrumental, 2 male vocals, and the computer pulls that out of the program and gives us this music that we play. And so it's all computer generated. So we can do special requests. We can, if someone wants a dedication, we can do that, but since we are all volunteer, we do need some lead time to do that. But this is really the inner workings of you can see that there's 16 seconds left. It tells you what song is Sadao Watanabe, I think, was playing the black line. Then the next song is the one below it. So you can move things around depending on what songs you want to hear. What songs I want to play, I should say. The party on Saturday, your wife wanted an old time song. She says, I like Frank Sinatra and Dean Martin and those kind of singers. So a song came up and I went, okay, no, your wife's name Lisa. Lisa, yeah. I said, this one's for Lisa. So, and I always dedicate a song to my husband. Sometimes it backfires on me, but because you just go with the title and then you go, oh boy, that was not okay. I played I'll Always Love You. But then the words go, I'm no good for you, I'm gonna leave you. And so he reminds me every now and then that was a song. Okay, and so here's a chart. You have one of those. I handed it out to you in this little packet. It's on the back of back of the music. This is the music for the park. And on the back, it shows a schedule of who is playing when, not who's playing, but who is on the air when. I'm on Mondays and Tuesdays, 12 to 3, and Saturdays, 9 to 12. I'm Sassy Susan on the air. I wonder where that name comes from. Okay, so you can look and see who's going to be on when and who you might want to listen to. We have a stock market report at 3:15, Monday through Friday. So there's a lot of things that you can tune into. Okay, let's travel to our other 2 locations. Okay, we have 577 West Washington. Whoops. Oh, there it is. 577 West Washington. That's where the emergency transmission tower. This is behind the building that we used to be located at. There at Serenity Square. And so this is a microwave tower. And then our 3rd location is up in the foothills of the Blue Mountains. This is on National Forest, or I don't know what the proper term is, but this is the main transmission tower in the foothills of the Blue Mountains, a First Federal Tower, and the John Wayne Memorial Transmission Facility. There's the tower, and then this is a block building that we have a duplicate transmission studio to what we have in downtown Sequim. So if something happened to the studio that we have in downtown Sequim, we can broadcast from up here. And I've been up there to broadcast a couple of times. It's very basic, but it gets the work done. All 3 locations have generator backup power to ensure continued broadcast during a power outage. And how many of you have a battery powered radio? You have to have a battery powered radio with fresh batteries. Don't store the batteries in the radio, put them in a Ziploc bag. But you can get updated from 91.5 when there is a power outage, and we will let you know what is happening. Okay, what is the cost for all this? Costs about $24 an hour. Our budget is $215,000 a year. We're all volunteers. So the money that is spent goes for the rent, the utilities, the computers, because we're on 24 hours, 7 days a week. So those computers are constantly going. Where does our money come from? 55%. This was the last breakdown. 55% comes from listeners and 45% comes from underwriters. Businesses that say, I really like KSQM and I am going to support them. So then in exchange, we say, the one that comes, Jace Real Estate, they support, I can't remember, it's a senior report, I don't know, but different businesses can support different aspects of the broadcast. And so that is underwriting because we are a 501c3. Contact information, ksqmfm.com, that's the phone number, and that is the PO box. Or you can stop in if you feel generous and we can give you a tour of our facility. All right, let's see what format. What do we offer you? Well, we play it all from the past 100 years. You probably recognize that house on Old Olympic Highway. And we have listeners all over the world, not only local. Here's a nice picture of the Dungeness Valley. This was taken about in the late 70s, early 80s, I think. So things have changed quite a bit. We have people listening all over the United States. And I took this when we were on a trip not too long ago, all over the world. England, Japan. That was in Colmar in Europe. And so that is, we are listened to all over. We presently have 100 volunteers. We're always looking for more volunteers because it's so nice if there's even someone just sitting at the front desk to answer the phone, or if someone comes in, hi, welcome to KSQM. I'm so glad that you stopped in. So if anyone knows of someone that's looking for some volunteer work, we do have live announcers Monday through Sunday from 7 o'clock in the morning until about, depending on the day, 6 in the evening or 9 in the evening. And we have some recorded programs for some of the evening hours. I developed a rat card a couple of years ago. And so that is something that I handed out. It gives all the information. And we have that I have arrangements, it's on the black wall, and it's also in the lobby down at the ticket office. And we have listeners in Victoria. We are considered Victoria's local radio. Because it's a straight shot right across. They can hear us very well. Okay, so what else is there? Oh, they sent us a picture when they displayed the cards. This is a picture that they sent us. I haven't been on the ferry to see it myself, but okay, so let's see what else there is. With our 24-hour, 7-day-a-week broadcast capabilities, we are your local source of information. So what do we offer you? Well, we have the local news at 8 a.m., 12 noon, 4 p.m., 8 p.m., Monday through Friday, and that is put together by Ed Evans. This is Ed and his wife. He has 32 years experience doing commercial news. He was with Cairo and Como, and he was in Hawaii for a while, but he has 32 years, and he has been a volunteer at KSQM since 2012. If you feel like your brain is being invaded sometimes by aliens, well, we don't go off on either side. We are non-biased and factual news. And I think this is appropriate since I'm retired Air Force. Those people look like they're in an Air Force uniform. But you need to listen to KSQM. It'll just give the news as it is. The weather forecast is at 1/4 to the hour, starting at 6:45, and then depending on when the last live announcer is in the booth. And we also have Jamestown S'Klallam Tribe. A tribal member from the Jamestown tribe speaks the word of the week and uses it in a sentence to promote cultural diversity and appreciation for First Peoples culture. As I mentioned, we are considered a local station in Victoria. Victoria BC Weekly News with Celeste Steindl is played, it's 11 o'clock, I think. It's played twice a day. I can't remember the exact time. We also have live monthly interviews with Clallam County Prosecuting Attorney Mark Nichols. Can't say exactly when that is because it depends on his schedule. Sometimes he'll call and say, can I come in today? Sure, no problem. So he comes and he gives updates on cases and what's going on in his office. We have the pet report. We publicize adoptable pets. We work with Pet Posse. If there's a lost or found animal, they contact us, and then we announce it over the air to reunite the pets with the lost owners. Okay, you may think that that's all there is, but there's more. Okay, are you surprised at what we do? There's a lot that KSQM does. So for about 2 years, when we had that thing called COVID, we had to change the way we did business and still meet the needs of the community to inform and educate everyone. So because we are an essential and critical infrastructure to the community, we expanded our services with a closed facility. And what we did was, they used to have coffee with the mayor. Well, we had them come into the studio with their mask on, and we continued with that interaction between the community and the someone from the city. Second Wednesday of the month is Working on Wellness. That is presented by Ksqm Dungeness Valley Health and Wellness Clinic. And that was held at Trinity United Methodist Church in person. Well, COVID kind of did away with that. So they came to us and they said, can we broadcast from your studio? Sure. So on the second Wednesday of the month, they come in and they're going to do it at least through the end of the year and maybe continue, because people can be in their home and listen without, there are a lot of housebound people. And so, and these are kept in the archive. So if you go to ksqmfm.com and click on listen live link, you can hear previous shows. So that's kind of cool. Music in the park, we had to change. The city used to do that. KSQM took it over. And so let me see, 2 years ago, we did music where you park, and you went to 10 different locations and tuned your radio to KSQM to hear interviews with the musicians. Then last year we did music where you park, and then the second half was music in the park, because the ban to have people gathering was lifted. And now this year we are having all music in the park, and you have a schedule of who the performers are. And this is the schedule that you have. Okay, Living Healthy with Diabetes. I run a diabetes support group meeting. The first, it meets the first Wednesday at the Shipley Center in Swim. But once again, we couldn't have an in-person meeting. So I said, oh, let's do a radio program. So the first Tuesday of every month from 1 to 2, I do Living Healthy with Diabetes. It was just held on Tuesday, and the topic was weight loss. What's the secret? Had a lot of people that clicked on my Facebook post for that. Then how many people know Gardening with Cisco? We have Cisco Morris on every Saturday from 9 to 10. Let me make sure I got time here. From 9 to 10, and we make a Facebook connection, and people send in questions and he answers them on the air. And these past episodes are also on ksqmfm.com. Just click on the listen live link. We started this, let me see, August of 2020 was the first show. And here is the Sunny Farms is the sponsor for that. So as you can see, we all kind of work together. And when we all work together, just like Rotarians, we can make a beautiful picture and make a difference in the community. So we talked about KSQM, your commercial-free, volunteer-powered local radio. We talked about the funding. I gave you a look inside our facilities and how KSQM can help all of us. So if you need weather updates, local news, news of local community events, information about power outages, KSQM stands for Kindred Spirits Quality Music. Music, not mayhem. So we are free to everyone. You don't have to pay a thing to listen. And here is, once again, the phone number. I'm the public relations person, and you can reach me at pr@ksqmfm.com. We're always willing to have more volunteers to expand our capabilities. And This is a good thing to leave on. The best things in life are the people we love, the places we've been, and the memories we've made along the way. And this is, I was a patient in the hospital and I took that picture. Isn't that a great view? That hospital has the best view of any hospital. Not that you want to be in the hospital, but it has a great view.
Except for Kathy's old room.
And thank you for listening.
All right.
Awesome. Any questions? Yeah,
Are you competing with K1P?
no.
How do you guys deal with that?
How do we deal with it?
Well, I mean, what do they think of you? How do you come?
Yeah, we share information.
Okay.
I see Brown Maloney all the time and he'll say, how are things going at the radio? I go, they're doing great. How are things at K1P? Oh, fine. They're more talk radio. We share information. Yeah. The peninsula is big enough for both of us.
There is.
Any other questions?
Bob Schilling used to work there.
Bob Schilling used to be there. He is no longer there. Correct.
He's out of the area now, or?
I don't know. He left before I started volunteering there, so I don't know. But if I'm gonna extend an invitation, if you're ever in Ksqm Monday through Friday and you want to tour an actual in-person tour, we'd love to have you stop in. And if you know of anyone that's looking for something to volunteer, they want to make a difference in the community, well, Ksqm is a good spot. So thank you very much for inviting me. And if you know of any organization that would like a presentation, send me an email, because I have the bones, all the information. I just try to personalize it a little bit for different organizations. So, and I hope to see you at the Salmon Bank tomorrow.
Thank you so much. Susan.
Thanks, man, too. So I've gotten to be good friends with her husband, Don. Swim noon, we get our tables and chairs for them all the time, so.
Yeah.
And we appreciate putting this presentation together. I learned a lot more about the
Yeah.
radio station that I didn't know about. We got a tradition here, the speaker picks one blue
Okay.
ticket,
One blue ticket.
and if you can read the last three digits.
Okay. Last three digits, 410.
Just got it again, wow.
What is this?
Oh, you didn't get, oh, you're picking this out. What was it?
410.
That's me.
Oh. And it
Like I said,
wasn't
this is
picked.
so rigged.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you.
Susan, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Susan. And
Uh,
he knows where the ace.
Ace of spades, yeah, where's that? I